Hey everyone, my name is Kumo and this is my reaction to the 10th episode of Mahoutsukai no Yome, or The Magician's Bride. So, in the last episode, Ellis seems to be having some issues from when he did his transformation in a previous episode, and Chisa's obviously quite worrying about him. And she actually ended up having to search for him at some point in the episode. And we also got some of Angelica again, Chisa talking with her, which is nice. And speaking of nice, we also got to see a vampire who's attached to some old guy who's probably not super plot relevant. But she is interesting. Apparently, she's a vampire that, sucks blood in return. I think they phrased it as talent, giving them talent in exchange for blood. Something like that. Some kind of contract. And we actually had a scene where she kissed Chisa. So, the funny thing about that is I don't think she's even kissed Elias yet, so some random vampire has gotten further with Chisa than he has. I just found that amusing. And just enjoyed that scene for several other reasons. But anyway, it seems like we're going to be going to the Land of Dragons in this episode, considering how the previous episode ended. So, let's get into it. Let us begin in 3, 2, 1, play. What? This is the first time we've actually started an episode without the opening. No clue who this is supposed to be, but they can apparently fight off wolves. And a blizzard, no less. I first thought that was hair, but I guess it's a cloak. Unless it's supposed to be Elias, but and now we get the opening. I have the volume down to 70%, so if my mic still manages to pick that up, I'm gonna throw something through a window. Although this show is not really super loud, so it shouldn't be as much of an issue. I just don't understand how the mic can pick up the audio when I'm wearing headphones. It was somewhat understandable when I was using this stupid thing, but I'm not anymore. I mean, I guess I could get noise-canceling headphones or something. Yes, that is what I said last episode. Yeah, the wand. That was mentioned back with the one dragon. About making a wand out of the tree became. I know, right? Of course he does. I want to have some alone time with your bride. Well, I assume you could at least take Ruth with you. Yeah, exactly. Oh. Well, it hasn't been that long. Well, your idea of flying was her jumping off of a cliff and crashing into the ground. Or water, I guess. And now I'm finally big enough for you to ride me. And got a pack of lunch, naturally. Silky doing a good job there. I hope Silky gets some focus at some point. Not this episode, obviously, but we should get that. It's a 2-core series. Yeah, don't fall in the water and catch hypothermia or anything. I knew that's what you was gonna say. But yeah, I didn't think dragons would grow that quickly. Yes, very important. Don't any muggles see in a flying car, flying dragon. That is really cool, though. I missed my chance to take a screenshot of that, but that was really cool. Literally and figuratively. I'm so lonely. Now all I have is Ellis to hang out with. Yeah. He spent most of his life without Chisa. I'm sure he can handle a little bit more. I brought the hostage. Guest. It really hasn't been that long, has it? Yep, she has a dog. Sure, why not? Go from riding a dragon through the skies to that. Are they freezing the ground as they're walking? That's really cool. Yes, that would be it. Yeah, that's Nevin the dragon. Just jumps in the water. Even though we already established that it's quite cold here. Just throw it at her. Yeah, apparently you want her to cut herself. Come on, Chisa. I know, right? Come on. To be fair, she's fallen a lot. It probably barely phases her anymore. If I was her, it would... I mean, I feel a little bit weird cutting through this tree that used to be a dragon that I knew. So why does he call her Silver, Gin, and Chisai calls her Silky? I'm a little curious about that. What? It's a very interesting communication method. Adolf Stroud. Somehow I don't trust him from that name. So in his end, it's speaking through a crystal. It's a very interesting world. Like the lore and everything. Just munching a fish. Probably one that she caught when she was in the water earlier. Oh wow, she does. Ouch. There you go. In other words, magic hands. But as you established, magic is fading. Man, Ruth just looks so evil. Especially in the dark. He really hasn't. She said the red-haired reindeer. Well, it's because her previous circumstances were pretty bad, so it's only an improvement. Yeah. Really like the lighting in that scene there. Not only that, he paid £5 million for you. Is she supposed to be like the comic relief here? Ruth seems to be on his guard. Those are some really cool eyes, though. Oh, was it Linda that we saw in that very first scene? I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure the character had horns. So yeah, that would be what we saw. So it was connected to Lindell, though, in some way. And exactly, okay, it is Elias. I thought I was just being crazy when I first mentioned that. Yeah, I bet so. You're all skin and bones without the skin. His eyes like light up when he wakes up, almost as if he's being turned on. So is this their first meeting? I didn't think we would get something like that. The way that was cut together looked like he ate it in one bite. He might have. Are we gonna see his master? So can you even find her? Some pretty advanced magic here. Looks very Christmassy with the whole red and green thing. And, you know, the snow all around. He grabs his hand, but it looks more like grabbing his finger. Kind of like flying a kite. I would advise against that. And they really are walking on water. Uh, Elias, you're a bit gullible there. Huh. You followed me home. Yeah, can you make it through that door? About human-sized. So that's pretty vague measurement. I guess it works. May have overdone it a bit, though. So he's a mixed breed. He looks so silly in that form. That's not good. You found him, you keep him. Yeah, you brought him there. And what better choice? He does look like a child just sitting there. Like they're his mom and dad, almost. Arguing over custody. Very true. I choose dad. Oh, you'll take on this one. I guess it's a start. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy that. The half glasses thing she has weirds me out a little bit. I thought she was about to undress. Would have been a bit odd timing for it. So this makes more sense. Arguing through the bird. We definitely got some pretty good backstory there on both Lyndall and Elias. And even found out about Lyndall's master. I do find it funny how the mages were just casually walking on water because that's the thing they can do. Also found it a bit weird how Elias overdid it when he shrunk himself. Like, you'd think he would just at least go to Lyndall's height, if nothing else. Since she said to go, the size of a human, and that was what he had as a frame of reference at the time. So I just thought it was a bit of an odd choice. I guess he just figured he would not want to cut it too close. So that was the 10th episode of Mahoutsukai no Yome. And this was definitely an information-filled episode. So, first of all, Lyndall sent one of his dragons to retrieve Chisa. He wanted Chisa to come back to the land of the dragons alone, so he could have a discussion with her. Although alone still included Ruth, luckily, considering Chisa's tendency to fall from things. And even the transporting there, the traveling there scene was pretty cool with the way it like wrapped the dragon in water for stealth magic or whatever. I really like that. But yeah, they got there, and then they rode on like a carriage, a reindeer-drawn carriage, and that was really cool too. How the reindeer were like freezing the ground as they ran, so they were running on the ice. Like just the lore in this show is really cool. But they eventually got to where they were going, and they had some discussions about mages, the history of mages, and also, we got flashbacks about Lindo's meeting with Ellis. So apparently, the guy we saw in the beginning of the episode was indeed Ellis, and that was around the first meeting time between him and Lindo. And one thing the episode was kind of doing was showing the similarities between the two of them. First of all, it was Chise commenting that, their similarity. And then we also found out they had some things in common, like the fact that Lindo's master gave them both their names because they previously did not have one. So Lindo did end up bringing Elias to his master, like living on an island which they walked to, because mages walk to islands, I guess. And he couldn't fit to the door, so he ended up going into Chibi Elias mode, which he managed to get through there. And they had some discussions about what Elias was. And they're not completely sure, they just know that he's like kind of like a spirit or a fairy, but not quite. He was most likely human to begin with, but might have been some black magic involved. There's still a lot of mystery to what exactly Elias is. But at least we've now seen how he was first met Lyndall, which is, as far as we know, the person who's known him the longest in this series. What was that? Apparently my chair's thing that prevents it from leaning back too far just kind of slid out too far and I almost fell backwards. Anyway, what was I saying? Right, Lyndall and Elias. So, yeah, in the end, Lyndall did decide to become his master, take on an apprentice. He was being a little bit tsundere about it, though. But, it did work out in the end. There was also some discussion between Chise and Lyndall about Chise's complacency with her current life and how the way Elias has been treating her, kind of like, well, the way he phrased it was trying to tame her like a reindeer. And other people have kind of phrased it as like being a science project, basically. Different people are clearly looking at Chise and Elias' relationship in different ways. But the big question is how Chise feels about it, if she's really okay with this. It is better than her previous situation as she brought up in this episode. She was pretty much abandoned as a child, so this is a step up from that. But is that good enough for her? Like, should she strive for more, or is she going to be happy this way? That is kind of a big topic here. But we still don't know exactly how Elias feels about the whole situation. We just kind of been hearing other people's opinions on it, so... In any case, let me know what you thought of the anime. Just let out my reaction in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one.